Michigan requires genocide classes.
Promising job numbers, I'm Dan Kampanen.
And I'm Lily Howder, and this is your Public Eye News. The U.S. Department of Labor is giving Michigan $2.8 million in funding to promote a program that offers an alternative to layoffs. The program helps workers keep health and retirement benefits, while employers can retain skilled workers that are essential to their businesses. This allows for employers to reduce employees' working hours instead of turning to layoffs during economic hardships. Other states have until the end of this year to apply for federal funding to implement this program. An entity of Honor Credit Union called Powered by Honor has donated $5,000 towards the new Forsyth Township Public Library. This money will help furnish the new building, and Powered by Honor says the money, quote, is a way of showing support for the community, end quote. Donations are welcome to help complete other areas, including the parking lot, as well as purchasing new technology. Construction on the building is to be completed by February.
Thursday night, the 32nd annual Can-a-thon came to a close with a very positive outcome. Countless organizations have been donating to help feed a hungry neighbor. The food will be distributed to local food pantries just in time for the holidays. Official numbers won't be in until later, but according to director of the Can-a-thon, Scott Zerbel, quote, I'm still waiting on some numbers, but when it's all said and done, we could expect 120,000 pounds of food, end quote. Non-food cash donations were also accepted. And even though the Can-a-thon is ending, you can donate year-round at your local food pantry. The State House has passed a $1.2 billion plan to boost road funding without raising taxes and instead using money that would go to schools and local governments. A bill approved Thursday would gradually eliminate the 6% sales tax at the pump and gradually increase per gallon fuel taxes. The plan ultimately would raise $1.2 billion per year to be spent on roads and bridges. Democrats call this GOP plan a charade. Talks will continue on road funding into the lame duck season.
The Michigan State House is pushing legislation that lets local governments publish public notices online instead of in newspapers. Local officials are in support of the change, saying that running notices in papers costs too much. Newspapers are in fear that this will cause a sharp fall in revenue and say that there would be less government transparency if notices were only posted online. The transition would be stretched out over the course of 10 years and would allow postings not only to occur on government websites, but TV and radio stations as well. Lawmakers in Michigan are also busy with a bill passed on Thursday that ensures students will spend class time learning about genocides, including the Holocaust. The bill requires public schools to teach 8th to 12th graders and also include questions related to the topic on standardized tests. The bill is now headed to the House. After the break, we'll have your national and international news. Stay tuned.
Hello, PBS citizens. It's Adam West back with you once again to relive the musical moments that moved our lives.
Adam West returns to host an all-new My Music special, Rock Rewind, 1965 to 1967 on PBS.
Saturday evening at 9:30 on Public TV 13.
Welcome back. President Barack Obama says the November job numbers show the American economy is making real progress. The government reported Friday that employers added 321,000 jobs in November. Obama says the pace can continue if Congress keeps government open, avoids self-inflicted wounds, and invests in programs that support faster job growth and high-paying jobs. The president also said Congress can help with trade, infrastructure, streamlining the tax code, and raising minimum wage. President Obama has made his choice to lead the Pentagon for the final 2 years of his administration. Mark Albert is at the White House with more details on the nomination of Ashton Carter.
President Obama says Ashton Carter is the right man at the right time to take charge of the Pentagon.
He knows the Department of Defense inside and out, all of which means that on day one he's going to hit the ground running.
Carter served as the Deputy Defense Secretary from 2011 until 2013. He says that experience has prepared him for this new challenge.
If confirmed in this job, I pledge to you my most candid strategic advice.
Secretary Chuck Hagel resigned just before Thanksgiving after a face-to-face meeting with President Obama. Thursday, he denied allegations. He was forced out.
There were just two of us in the room during these discussions. We both came to the conclusion that I think the country was best served with new leadership.
Ashton Carter was not the only person considered to replace Hagel. Several candidates withdrew their name. But Carter's past Pentagon experience may make it easier for him to be confirmed by the Senate.
He's a fine man. He's certainly qualified for the job.
Despite Republican concerns about President Obama's foreign policy, senators on both sides of the aisle expect Carter's nomination to be approved. Mark Albert for CBS News, the White House.
The city of Cleveland has settled a lawsuit involving an officer who last month was driving a patrol car when his partner killed a 12-year-old boy carrying a pellet gun. Officer Frank Garnback was driving a patrol car when his partner shot Tamir Rice in November. The officer thought Rice had a real firearm, but the young boy actually had an airsoft gun. America's plans for a manned mission into deep space took a big step today. The spacecraft Orion went on a short test flight. NASA wants to make sure everything works before eventually sending astronauts to Mars. Craig Boswell reports from the Kennedy Space Center.
And liftoff at dawn, the dawn of Orion.
The Orion spacecraft blasted off from Cape Canaveral and launched NASA into the future.
Good engine control on the first stage.
NASA was forced to postpone the launch on Thursday because of strong winds and a problem with a rocket fuel valve. Today's successful takeoff marks the craft's maiden voyage.
Velocity now 1,341 feet per second.
Orion is designed to one day take astronauts to Mars, but today's 4.5-hour unmanned mission was a test flight. The craft orbited the Earth some 3,600 miles away and then re-entered through temperatures near 4,000 degrees before splashing down into the Pacific.
These are harsh environments this spacecraft is operating in, and they want to make absolutely sure that these systems work normally before astronauts get on board.
Thousands of people returned to the Kennedy Space Center today to watch the second attempt at a launch. Crowds like this haven't been seen here since the last space shuttle took off in 2011. The Orion ship is set to fly humans farther than any spacecraft since the Apollo missions.
They want to make sure the spacecraft can survive the radiation environment in deep space.
NASA wants to first send astronauts to an asteroid after the year 2020. About 10 years later, the plan is for a manned mission to Mars. Craig Boswell, CBS News, the Kennedy Space Center.
Still scarred by last year's super typhoon Haiyan, residents of the Philippines rushed Friday to stock up supplies and take cover ahead of another potentially catastrophic storm. Super typhoon Haiyan is approaching the Philippines from the western Pacific Ocean and is projected to make landfall late Saturday. With this storm approaching quickly, authorities are not only worried about the typhoon itself, but also its high winds. Pagasa warned of intense rainfall between the inches of 7.5 and 20 per hour and rough seas. It was also warned that a storm surge could reach 5 meters high. Many Filipinos took to social media to spread warnings, urge each other to prepare, and pray for the country. 10 members of the UN Security Council are requesting the North Korea human rights situation be placed on the Council for debate. A letter seen Friday by the Associated Press is signed by 10 of the 15 members, including the United States. North Korea's allies, China and Russia, did not sign. Placing the issue on the agenda of the UN's most powerful body means the Council members view North Korea's dismal human rights situation as a matter of international peace and security. The letter requests, quote, consideration of this agenda item as early as possible in December. North Korea has faced unprecedented pressure over human rights this year. Stay tuned because after the break, we'll have your weather and sports.
Coming up this week on High School Bowl, our first returning team of the year, the Escanaba Eskimos, take on the Dollar Bay Bays. Hi, I'm Jim Koski. In our second game this week, we'll see which jet flies higher and which jet flies faster as the Painesdale Jeffers Jets take on the North Central Jets. That's coming up this week on High School Bowl.
Hello everyone and welcome to your Public Eye News weather. My name is Justin Burkle. As you can see, we have cloudy conditions here in Marquette, but it's supposed to get better, so let's take a look ahead. Cloudy conditions tomorrow, or actually currently right now, 34 degrees, winds out of the west-southwest at 9 miles per hour. Barometric pressure is at 30.11 degrees and rising. Partly cloudy tomorrow or tonight with a low of 24, winds out of the northwest at 10 miles per hour. And tomorrow, let's have partly cloudy skies, high of 26, winds out of the west-northwest at 10 miles per hour. Looking around the area, we have Sault Ste. Marie under mostly cloudy conditions. Manistee is at 38, 36 degrees in Escanaba. Menominee is at 36 degrees, and in Menominee, 32. Over in Ironwood, we have 29. Houghton is 31 and 34 degrees under cloudy skies here in Marquette. Taking a look ahead, we have Sunday, 32 degrees for a high, a low of 26 and partly cloudy conditions. Monday, high of 34, a low of 23 with some snow showers possible, and Tuesday, high of 25 and a low of 19 with snow showers. So how about those Chicago Bears?
Yeah, talk about bear down. The Dallas Cowboys avenged their loss last week against the Eagles by thrashing the Chicago Bears 41-28 in Chicago. Led by DeMarco Murray's 179 yards on the ground, the Cowboys jumped out to a 35-7 lead before Chicago outscored the Cowboys 21-7 in the fourth quarter. Even with Jay Cutler throwing for over 300 yards, the Bears weren't able to pull out a victory, as they have lost 2 straight and sit in last place in the NFC North. In other NFL news, the Cleveland Browns have decided to go with Brian Hoyer as the starting quarterback for this weekend, as the Browns look to stay in the playoff race against the Indianapolis Colts. Hoyer, who was pulled out of the game last week in favor of first-round draft pick Johnny Manziel, has led the team to a 7-5 record, but he has struggled at times during the season, prompting a quarterback controversy. In the end, though, head coach Mike Pettit said that he feels Brian Hoyer gives them the best chance to win. And last but not least, the NMU Wildcats are back on the ice tonight at home against the Bowling Green Falcons. NMU is coming off a 2-game series against Alaska Fairbanks, where they split the series. They are currently ranked 19th. Bowling Green, on the other hand, is coming off a clean sweep of Benjamin State. They are currently ranked 14th in the nation. The last time these two teams met in the Barrie Event Center was in March of 2014, where Bowling Green beat NMU 3-2. Puck drops at 7:07 tonight. So definitely a lot going on in sports here. Yeah, definitely a lot going on here.
Yeah, we have a lot of people going on around here.
Yeah. Oh.
That's all the time we have for today here at Penn. Come back in January.
Yeah.